Good morning, guys. How are we all doing? I am Dan from Trading with Dan. This is our Bitcoin morning update. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, we shall quickly go over to those Bitcoin 4-hour charts where we are basically we're still consolidating sideways within this obviously relatively tight range, waiting for a breakout either to the upside or to the downside. We've obviously got a set here of lower highs, and then high lows from this point here as well. So that is it, sideways consolidation until we break out, and then go on a trending move until we find the next level to sidewaysly consolidate at. My bias would be to the upside, to basically break properly to the upside. I would guess it would pretty much be this level, get above this high here, then yeah, I think we'll pretty quickly find ourselves moving towards 67.5, moving towards basically the previous all-time high. What may happen is though, as you guys know, we've got this range. We may get slightly front ran. We may not make it all the way up to a new all-time high. We might get front ran and then come back down and just trade some more sideways within a new range. Maybe this at that point, if we do that, this horizontal level will be the old resistance and new support. Or failing we don't get front ran. The opposite, the other alternative is we overshoot it and then break onwards and upwards into new price discovery, at which point we then can continue, establish a new high, and then try and base off this $67,000 level as a low, as basically a low level to the lower side of the new range. Or what we could do, maybe even if it was only on like a daily or a 2-daily basis, we could then come back below this 67,000 and then play out more downside and then continue within this sideways range. They are the most likely scenarios that I kind of see at the moment. I suspect, barring any curveballs getting thrown at either the crypto markets or finance 1.0 markets, I suspect we will make our way up, break above here, and then and then we'll either play out the front running and the trading sideways, or we'll break above, and I would suspect it would be like a wick basis, even if it was like on a weekly chart, a wick basis above, and then we'll come back and trade sideways. I'm not quite sure the market is quite ready yet to carry on pumping onwards and upwards towards that 100k, because basically, let's not get it wrong, next time Bitcoin goes on a trending move, on like a larger time, on like a medium frame time scale, the next time it does that, we are going for 100k Bitcoin. Basically, that is ultimately where it is gonna lead us. So I think a lot of the market may know that, so obviously we've got plenty of time realistically to trade sideways and do whatever we want to do before we do pump up to those lofty heights, and then we've got some serious questions to ask ourselves about what we do with our lovely $100,000 Bitcoins. It does end up being some sort of massive profit taking. Does that end up actually being like a new like a high to this bull run, in much the same way we got almost just to about 20k in the previous one, a nice round number. Will 100k be that number? I actually don't suspect it will, but again, it can signal like a medium term downward to sideways move before we do pump up to what could be like loftier final highs. But all I will say, and I have said this before, is that cryptocurrency, Bitcoin prices of cryptos, they always seem to basically do way more than you would expect, both to the upside and the downside. That is all I will say. But obviously, armed with that information, you do then adjust what you expect. You then adjust. I mean, we have Bayesian brains. We take on that new information. And yeah, so yeah, I mean, it is a difficult concept to wrestle with when you kind of know, okay, so normally I'm like not bullish enough, so if I become more bullish, does that become the correct amount, or does that more bullish amount become not bullish enough? And then you start questioning what you're doing with your life, and not really, just kidding. But yeah, if we do look at this, I mean, if we zoom out here, nice move, nice one leg up, nice pullback consolidation, nice second leg up, some nice sideways consolidation here, and are we going to get a third and final leg up in true Elliott wave fashion? Shout out to those Elliott waves and those sets of threes. Do we get another a nice big move, which could be pretty, like I said, could be pretty aggressive, and I do not really see how it doesn't how the next larger trending move over whatever period of time it is, I don't realistically see how it doesn't get us basically towards 100k. So yeah, so like I said, the market is perfectly fine trading sideways. Maybe we trade sideways, maybe we pop above, get rejected, back down, trade sideways. Maybe even we then come down, test down to those low 52s once everybody has kind of given up on the fact that we're going to get down there. There's some nice market psychology for you. Basically, people are hoping to get low 50s now, but if we break upward to these new all-time highs, maybe wick above, stay above for a few days, come back in, people then will maybe start to think, right, I'm gonna buy 63, I'm gonna have to buy 58, and at that point maybe we then make the move down, because just remember, the market has a proclivity to not do what the what the majority of people want it to do. Put it that way. It takes, like I said, the destination is one thing, the route you take, the direction and the velocity you take is what we're in it for, is where the money is well, I guess I say where the money is made. Obviously, if you're just concentrating on the destination, you are, in inverted commas, a hodler, and like, I don't think we can really deny that hodlers have performed extremely well in this asset in the past few years. So yeah, realistically, we are looking for a breakout of this shorter term range that you can see that we're in. Does that get us towards the higher time frame range? Do we then break above that and make moves? Do we break below that and make moves, or do we literally then go for a trending move and then consolidate, then come back down and trade sideways? That is my bias is always to trading sideways in a wide range, because for the most part the longest time, more time is spent trading sideways. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. The trending moves are usually pretty fast, quick and aggressive. They are done and dusted in a more relative short amount of time, and then we spend more time trading sideways, that is only reason why I have a bias to sideways, just because statistically we just trade more within sideways markets. That's literally it. It's that simple. But yeah, that is enough waffling on about Bitcoin. Let's have a look at some other indicators. Yeah, the Ethereum Satoshi pairing, as we can see, wanting to break above here, but I think it kind of senses Bitcoin is going to make a move, at which point it is going to struggle. So this does look to be struggling to get above this. So maybe we do get that trending, that more aggressive move in Bitcoin. We do come back down, test this support, and then Bitcoin trade sideways, consolidate, and then we'll get the move up to basically these in towards this resistance level. I still think this looks pretty bullish, looks pretty constructive. I do ultimately think we are breaking above all these highs and continuing onwards and upwards. But yeah, we shall just have to wait and see how that plays out. We're not in a rush here. We are not in a rush. We've probably got all the way into deep into Q1 next year, maybe even Q2. We carry on with these crack up boom markets before Mad Max times come in. But yeah, let's have a look at some other. Here's the USD pairing for Ethereum, just for you guys to look at. You can see consolidating near these highs, looking like it wants to go in price discovery. Obviously, Bitcoin does break to the upside. This will break to the upside, but potentially not keep up with Bitcoin. Bitcoin, the percentage gains that Bitcoin makes. But then obviously when Bitcoin then consolidates, then we'd expect this to then really start to get going, because Bitcoin would have dragged it deep into price discovery, and then it can start to get wet and wild of its own accord. Bitcoin dominance as well, as you can see, still trending downwards. Yeah, still trending down. So obviously that's good for altcoins. Stocks, the S&P itself, just hovering around those highs, actually above this trend line, which is good, because I thought this trend line was going to be a bit difficult. If the market was going to not be bearish, but if it was going to be a bit lethargic, it was potentially going to struggle to break above this aggressive trend line. But we seem to have broken above and basing off it, and if we continue on the upper side of it, obviously that's good. So this is looking good. Obviously Nasdaq tech stocks getting dragged up to the moon, and Tesla obviously helping with that. I mean, lots of people are still like talking about earnings and talking about all sorts of BS, and let's just face it, these stocks are inflation hedges. That is literally what they are at the present time. Gold is not performing too well. Obviously crypto is performing well as an inflation hedge. We're just in a protect your wealth in whatever assets you can that aren't cash scenario. If we look at the DXY, speaking of cash, had a pretty aggressive bounce off this support level, a nice squeeze, but we're going to fully retrace this. You guys know what my guess will be, but I guess we'll have to see what happens. But I suspect this is just a squeeze, and then yeah, we will come back down and then take out this horizontal and continue lower. But I do keep saying this is just a relative trade against other currencies. But what I will say is a lot of it is against the euro, and the euro is obviously more politically fragmented. So shenanigans with currencies are a little bit more difficult in that environment. A lot more difficult than they are in the US, where literally we have obviously the magic money tree, or the Mo money tree. That's another thing I've seen Finance 1.0 super cool guys calling it Mo money tree. But yeah, let's also look at actually that is about it we need to look at on here. I mean, yeah, the 10 year just doing its thing, drifting about. This is not looking too dissimilar for a topping formation. I mean, we can clearly see head and shoulders, but yeah, I mean, realistically, we've got this at a level, we've got the upper side of this support, the lower side of this support, this zone. We break below here, then yeah, we'll come down. And I mean it is a difficult one with bonds, because ultimately something is gonna break, and that is then gonna be that is gonna rally bond prices, which then declines this yield. So this will go down. Ultimately, that we are gonna have a slow. I mean, we will be getting demand destruction from these high prices. And yeah, that will obviously filter through into obviously growth predictions. You know, the CP lie, or the continuing propaganda index, that will start to struggle. And yeah, GDP obviously will struggle, and then obviously bonds will rally in the face of those conditions. And remember, markets are forward pricing in the future. They're forward looking, so they are looking forward not looking forward as that they want it, but they are looking forward into the future, at the demand destruction and the drag on growth. That honestly, like oil prices are just going nuts. I mean, there's I mean, they're going nuts as well because of policy choices, and does anyone realistically see there's going to be any turnaround in those policy choices? I mean they'll just lie and blame it on other things. I mean, they already do. They blame everything on everything else other than themselves. I guess they're just humans, eh? So yeah, there you go. Let's finally have a look at those at those stochastics, do they indicate that we can bust above this just under $3,400 level and make that move to the upside? 4 hour is not currently suggesting so, as it wants to put a bit of downward pressure on price action, as we can see. But I suspect some of the high time frame or medium time frames may be starting to look better for us. Well, yeah, 10 hour is coming down, really, just flip-flopping around, as we can see. Similar with the 12 hour, kind of flip-flopping around. The daily, though, turning back up from a very low level, first time since basically late September. Well, obviously apart from this little flip-flopping around up here, but turning up from a low level. So this is certainly certainly can get going and drag us basically towards the top of the range of basically $67,000 and potentially beyond. The buy daily coming down at the moment, though, bullishly reset in inverted commas, wink face. Same with the 3-day. 5-day has turned back over here as well, so these are all down, pointing or not necessarily helping us out. Weekly looking a very aggressive good read here. Bi-weekly moving up, got a lot of room to run, and monthly now turned up as well. So I mean, yeah, so realistically reading into that a bit of a convoluted read, but with an upward bias and with what I would suggest does get us a moving, breaking above 34,000 and then moving to the upside. And then, yeah, like I said, I don't particularly think we are gonna go into a new price discovery, continue onwards and upwards, and then never see prices below 67,000 again. I think we either we break up, we either front run, we trade, we then just chop sideways to in this range again, or we move up, we break above, even if it's for a couple of days, trade above here, and then get slammed back down, back into our range. We get slammed back into line. Maybe that is what is going to happen. So obviously stocks are just grinding up. Traditional markets just on their crack up boom grind. Obviously we are in the bubble of everything, obviously, as we all know. So yeah, there we go, guys. Yeah, there we go. Thank you for listening. Remember, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I shall speak to you guys soon.